I've been talking about Ethereum Classic and Ergo, specifically around the point of basically Polaris GPUs and an algorithm that is easy to migrate to. This is important to point out, I think, from our perspective to get other people's perspectives, especially Mean Hash here, who I would say definitely is more knowledgeable in a lot of cases than I am, just surrounding mining and so on. And he had a rebuttal to basically one of my tweets earlier, which I said, so to fully flesh this out, there's a circumstance where price discovery post-merge on GPU mineable coins will actually be determined by the amount of hash rate that moves over. The fact is Polaris GPUs are the most widely deployed, therefore Polaris GPU friendly is key. I do have a full thread here. You guys can go look at it on my Twitter. Now, MeanHash did reply and he said, there are lots of ET hash coins, not just ETC. And that is true. You have Ubeak and quite a few other ones, but a few with more active development. That's debatable now. Really, development on Ethereum Classic started taking off in December. That's when essentially the first DEX was launched, was in December of 2021. And now we already have essentially a lot of NFT projects moving over, including a Classics Apes version, some kind of... The problem I see primarily with Ethereum Classic, and I'll just be straight up front, especially as retail investment is concerned, is the name. Because Ethereum Classic, it sounds old, outdated, it sounds like it's abandoned. Just the name sounds abandoned. The fact is it's not abandoned. But a lot of the NFT projects are also naming themselves Classic, like Classic Apes and so on. So I think a little bit from the retail perspective there, just from perception, could basically make it feel like or sound like it's kind of outdated and not a thing anymore. However, I would argue that it does have more development, at least in the recent months from December till now. I would rebuttal and say it looks like it's having more support than and more development surrounding it than a lot of the other ET hash options. We'd have to start pulling up, of course, GitHubs and so on. And this is something that I'm definitely starting to look at more closely. He does say, however, my guess is most 580s will be dead and Ethereum Classic will get overrun by ET hash ASICs, which will cause the price to collapse, not rise. Other ASIC resistant coins will see price discovery though. So what he is essentially saying is that because Ethereum Classic will have the ASICs moving off of Ethereum and basically taking over the Ethereum Classic and other ET hash-based algorithms, that the price will actually crash. I don't necessarily believe that to be true personally, because I think that that will go towards the price discovery. Everybody sitting on these Ethereum ASICs have to be more invested within Ethereum, like ET hash coins, and making sure that the price discovery is there than anybody else. Because if they don't, all of that hardware is essentially useless. And I don't think that it would necessarily cause it to crash, because what we're seeing is an acceptance, and I'll show you guys here in a second. We're seeing an acceptance of the ET hash ASICs onto Ethereum Classic, whereas even just a couple months ago, the idea was either go full on, like basically ASIC resistant, or move over to an ASIC only algorithm with Kekek, the new Kekek 256 or whatever. Anyways, that's been abandoned now, so we don't really have to worry about it. However, I think the adoption of this is what they're seeing is this potential for participation from for security. And really, if you really want to take over, you really want that additional security as much as possible. So I think adopting that security is actually a smart move, personally. That's how I think about it. Now, he is saying that the 580s will be dead. Is that necessarily true? There are other options. If you have a bunch of 580s, even though they're paid off and they've paid themselves off multiple times, isn't it your goal to continue to garner some sort of revenue out of it moving on? I would think that you would want to generate as much revenue out of any asset, including 580s, if possible. He says that anyone with 580s has them completely paid 10 times over now, and they will have no problem dumping them on the market for $100 a card when ETH moves to proof of stake. And then I said I would be buying them at that price. To be honest, I'm probably a dummy though. And the thing is like, if I can get 30 mega hash a second at $100 a pop, and you know, feasibly, or I think it's like 50 mega hash a second or something like that on Ergo, and secure that chain with the 580s, seems like a pretty good solid investment to me. A lot of people started ditching like the 4 gigabyte GPUs last time, and those were dropping to like $75, the Polaris 4 gigabyte GPUs, and you're able to buy a ton of those. Now, a lot of people weren't buying them, but some people were, and the people that were are doing really, really well now off of those, thanks to, of course, the reduction of the DAG on Ethereum Classic, and in combination with alternate options that are friendly to Polaris GPUs like Ergo. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I want to bring up, you know, alternate views here, and I think that Mean Hash has good points there. Then I got another tweet from me. I did mention that GPU mining profits are up 25% this week, in which case I did get this reply that was basically Jether here talking about the Ethereum Classic update on their hardware, specifically ASICs. Now, we have that kind of here as well. And ASICs, or application-specific integrated circuits, are specifically manufactured chips that are designed, as the name suggests, to mine just one specific algorithm. Originally, due to the memory-intense requirements of the DAG, ET hash was fairly resistant to ASICs, but with time, like all profitable algorithms, there was a big incentive to build ASICs for ET hash, which did come to market. A range of ASIC miners, Ethereum Classic, are available and can be found by searching online for them. And check the manufacturer specifics. So they already are kind of supporting ASICs here within their How to Mine tab. And then they're talking about here, Ethereum, basically ET hash miners migrating to ETC hash post-merge. First off, we welcome to Ethereum Classic. We welcome you, I guess. They welcome this to them, of course, because they are saying thank you for securing the original Ethereum network, which launched in 2015. Ethereum Classic has a long commitment to proof-of-work consensus. By the way of the core devs call 22, the Ethereum Classic network publicly signals continued support for ETC hash mining algorithm through the foreseeable future. This reaffirms Ethereum Classic's principles of fostering a decentralized proof-of-work mining ecosystem. This confirms a continued long-term commitment to the current mining ecosystem participants and their GPU and ETC ASIC equipment. So the Ethereum Foundation is expected to migrate its EVM network to proof-of-stake consensus in Q2 of 2022 through an event labeled The Merge. We recommend planning your equipment migration to ETC hash prior to the merge. And what you guys have been seeing on the networks with huge pumps to solo mining on ETC and solo mining on Ergo and all these different networks kind of having these spikes go around, what you're seeing is miners listening. I think listening to specifically Ethereum Classic saying, go ahead and prior now, start to get ready. And if you have a large firm, what do you need to do? You need to make sure flight sheets are functioning properly. You need to make sure that all your equipment can move over easy. There's no weirdness with like overclocks or anything like that, even though it shouldn't be, there shouldn't be. But you have a lot of moving pieces in large firms that need to make sure this is functioning. Now, I've already done it on my farm too. So you guys are aware that we were solo mining Ethereum Classic. We did go back to ETH, but we did do that for about a week. And part of that was just, you know, making sure I understood, like, we have the flight sheet ready. We're good. We've been doing it with Flux as well. We've been doing it with Ergo. I'm going to continue to be doing that to make sure that whatever hits the ground running after the merge, I'm ready for. This merge event will disenfranchise the largest EVM's proof-of-work mining ecosystem. Ethereum Classic is well positioned to absorb much of this abandoned ET hash rate. However, ET hash miners might not realize that Ethereum Classic operates a modified version of ET hash called ETC hash. In November of 2020, the ETC hash mining algorithm was activated on Ethereum Classic mainnet with the Thanos upgrade. This upgrade slowed the growth rate of the DAG. This has allowed GPU miners to operate their equipment longer on ETC hash than ET hash. This assured Ethereum Classic would absorb any mining equipment obsoleted by ET hash's DAG growth rate and organically grow Ethereum Classic's base level. Now that is very important. I said it when they did it. This was a smart move because already those 4 gigabyte GPUs start moving over to Ethereum Classic, thereby increasing of course, the security, which then increases the trust in the network. And this is a super intelligent move, in my humble opinion, or was, because now they're set up to really start absorbing even more hash rate post-merge. Note, ETH ASICs will likely need a firmware update for ETC hash compatibility. Please contact your manufacturer and request an official firmware release for ETC hash compatibility. Additionally, some mining communities have already developed custom firmware for updating ASIC equipment to ETC hash. New ETC hash miners will find comfort in knowing that Ethereum Classic made a long-term commitment to proof of work consensus through the network's die-hard upgrade in 2018. If you're new to ETC mining ecosystem, you found a long-term home on Ethereum Classic, a battle-tested network where you can properly plan your mining business, capital, and operational expenditures around a predictable monetary policy and stable network that is widely integrated throughout the cryptoverse. The Ethereum Classic Discord has an active mining community to help you in your transition planning. Please join the conversation. Here's their monetary policy. New mining participants on Ethereum Classic Network may want to familiarize themselves with ETC's fixed monetary policy and the 5M20 emission schedule via the ECIP 1017. A visual countdown and chart of the 5M20 emission schedule can be found at ETC is Money. Part of this is the fifthening that they're talking about, as opposed to Bitcoin where you have a halvening, which is the block reward getting cut in half. Ethereum Classic basically has an emission schedule that cuts down by 20% instead of course, the full halvening or 50%. So that is basically the policy, but definitely check out the description down below so you can go read about it yourself. We're running short on time for the show today, so I'm going to go ahead and just move on at this point. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.